Let me ask you a broader question. I mean, we've been talking about practicalities here, but just for a moment, if you want to philosophize, I mean, how do you see the connection between community services and the overall goals of the labor movement? You know, I mean, our goal is to organize the unorganized, to enable workers to have power in the workplace and in the economy. How do you see your work fitting into that?
The goal is really to improve the lives of working families. The labor movement is created to do that, and so I don't think we can improve the lives of working families just within the workplace. That needs to branch out to the community as well, and if that means helping somebody with a bill that they need help so they can stay in their house, then that's why we exist. And if it's because a family is looking for volunteer projects to do during the weekend together, to maybe get to know their community better and to bond with their family, then that's something we can help with. And really, if their community is in better shape from work that they've put into it and work that other people have put into it, then that'll create a better life for them as well. So
both on the job and off. Well, I think that's a great way to say it, Betsy.
And you both of your agencies have a connection somehow with the United Way, right?
That's correct.
Yes, we're a part of a, gosh, is it 60-year partnership
now?
I think on a national level. Okay. We are a part of a network that runs across the country. And I actually had a couple members who were calling, asking for assistance for folks that live in another state. So we can call on the folks that we know as a part of that network to find resources for folks, even if they don't live in the state, which is really, it's a wonderful thing to be able to be a part of.
So you have contacts in other states?
Right. There are liaisons that work all across the country in programs just like ours in the community. So we're able to do that as well. So.
Betsy, you talked a little bit, you mentioned it, that your title is a community organizer.
Correct.
As well as liaison.
Right.
What's the distinction there?
Well, the liaison work I think of as more of the client services that I help to provide, and the community organizer portion of it will be when I work with the suburban councils to get those volunteer projects together, or around things like the census. So when I'm going out and educating members about how important the census is, then that's more of the community organizing aspect of my job. So it's exciting to be able to not only help people, but then be able to get out in the community and meet all sorts of new folks as well. So. And you also said, in addition to the census work, that you were doing some educational work around the ranked choice voting. The ranked choice voting. Yep. Forgive me, I'm from St. Paul. No. We haven't gotten there yet. But, so was the Labor Council promoting this program, or you were just helping people understand it? Right. We were not necessarily promoting. We just wanted to teach people how to vote on the ranked choice voting ballot. And when I say we, I'm including Doug Flateau, who's the Executive Director of Working Partnerships. He did a great deal of training at different union meetings. He went to meet with a lot of union retirees and let them know about what was going to be on the ballot and how to vote on that ballot, and not to be intimidated and to still show up at the polls. All those choices. So, right. So this is coming soon to St. Paul, Lynne? You expect you'll be doing similar work? Yes, I think so. That's good. So, we're getting down toward the end of our time here. So, maybe just to wrap up, is there a message that you want to leave for union members in regard to your work and the availability of your work, the importance of your work, and how they can help? Please don't be afraid to ask for the help that you need. I think is the message that I would like to share. I know I've had a couple of folks who've talked to me at the Fair for All program and said, just coming here and talking to you has given me a little bit of hope that there are programs out there, but you're not going to find out about them if you don't ask. And so that's why Betsy and I are there. And if we don't know of a resource, we're going to look and try and find a resource. Absolutely. And that's really. Don't be afraid or too proud to ask for help. You've paid into programs all of your working life, and so maybe now you need a little help, and you just should ask. And if people do want to help out with the community services work, what opportunities are there for that?
We are always looking for volunteers for the different projects we have in the suburban areas, but also for both of our Fare for All Express programs that we have. We have that both in Minneapolis and St. Paul. We could always use volunteers to help distribute the food to the people who show up.
Sure. And if we can't utilize those volunteers, the Greater Twin Cities United Way has got a great volunteer website where you can find a project to work on one day a month or one day every week, or
for a
just
group
one
or for one person.
And they will try and find something that best suits, you know, whether it's an individual or group and what you want to work on. So we can certainly help channel folks to that too. I say we're connectors. We're connectors of resources out in the community.
Sure. So if somebody wants to volunteer with you and you don't have anything for them at the time, you'll refer them on to other agencies.
Give them some other options, you bet.
Right.
And just in general, you obviously have relationships not just with the United Way, but with other organizations in the community. You mentioned the church organization up in Wright County.
Yep.
How do you see that connection between labor and other nonprofit service organizations and religious organizations? How does that fit into the picture?
I think it just is always good to have a community rather than just having one organization try and solve an enormous problem. It's so much better to have a group of organizations work together and see how the strengths and weaknesses of each organization and see which one can supply and provide the assistance needed where. So we work with community action programs. We work with not just the nonprofits such as that, but also with the League of Women Voters. So when we're working to get voter information out to people, we will partner with them. And I think if it were just us, then perhaps there would be some gaps in the knowledge that we would be providing to people. But in order for us to really, I think, reach out and cover every area, it's best for us to work with all sorts of different groups that can
And do you find groups reluctant to work with labor unions?
I haven't, and matter of fact, we get compliments all the time on our volunteers. How dedicated our volunteers are, and when they say they're going to do something, they're there. And I would just like to say too that folks get an opportunity to actually get to know union people when they work with them. And I know that at the Fare for All out at the Ford plant, one of the neighbors in the community got her groceries and was walking out with a union member, and she said, you know, I always hear these bad things about you guys, but you really are quite nice. So I think it presents a really good opportunity for us to get to know one another. Sometimes folks get labeled, and if we work together in the community, we can find out that sometimes those labels aren't really accurate.
So one advantage of this service to the community by unions and labor people is it gets us
to know one
little
another.
bit of exposure and help people to get to know us who we really are.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Okay. So, working partners is and the community service liaison, in addition to working with the United Way and working with these other agencies, do you also help the United Way to raise money for their other programs? Or?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We go out at campaign time. We encourage local unions to make a union or organizational gift. We encourage the staff in their offices. We run, like this year, our silent auction will be benefiting the United Way, so that will be, a special event for them. So we are always out there talking about the partnership and the ability that that partnership brings for us to do the work that we're doing.
Yep, right now I don't think we would be able to function without the United Way, so we always try to remind unions of that as well, that in order for us to help your members, then we need the United Way to continue to exist so that we can continue to exist.
Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Lynn. Appreciate your coming and taking time away from your work to be with us today. and for the work that you're doing. I'm sure I speak for a lot of people to say just thank you. And thank you to viewers of Voices of Experience. We hope you enjoyed this program, and will join us for other programs in the future.